We're going to talk to Heather Barr. She's Associate Women's Rights Director at Human Rights Watch. Thanks very much for being with us on the programme. So just tell us then, why has the Taliban done this? I mean, open schools and then just a few hours later apparently close them again.
It's very strange, and it's very difficult to explain because they also issued a statement on Monday saying that all schools would open. I mean, one potential explanation is a split within the Taliban with different views on whether or not girls should be allowed to attend school. But this is a very provocative action for them to take just 8 days ahead of a major donor conference, which aimed to raise $4.4 billion to try and alleviate the serious humanitarian crisis that's happening in Afghanistan.
Yeah, I mentioned that at the top, didn't I? I mean, this is, of course, one of the biggest demands, if you like, of the international community. If the country wants to get aid, if it wants to get help, if it wants some kind of recognition, it needs to ensure that education is there for everybody.
Yeah, no, that's right. And donors had placed a huge focus on this decision today about girls' secondary schools. And it's going to be difficult for them to figure out how to respond now. But what they need to do is to both continue to put pressure on the Taliban over women's rights while also making sure that their actions don't further harm ordinary Afghans, 95% of whom are already not getting enough food to eat.
Do you think the situation for women has improved at all in the country? I mean, obviously, initially there was a big clampdown, although some Afghan women did seem to be able to carry on a little bit as they had been before, a very little bit, admittedly. But has it got any better, or is it even getting worse, do you think?
It's not getting better. Afghan women's rights activists warned us from the beginning, from August 15th, that the situation would worsen over time, that the clampdown on women and girls would intensify. And I think that's happened. And I think that's part of what's happening today. Today is just one of many signs of that. You know, we've seen other examples recently, including the ban on women being allowed to leave the country without a male family member chaperoning them, which blocks off all access to overseas study.
So bearing in mind your answers here, I mean, do you hold any hope for these negotiations this week?
We have to have hope. I mean, one important thing that's happened this month is the renewal of the United Nations mandate in Afghanistan for the assistance mission there. So we need to see a much stronger effort by that mission to monitor what's actually happening on the ground in terms of human rights, including the rights of women and girls, and to engage with the Taliban every day and try to help them understand that they will never be seen as a legitimate government as long as they continue these abuses.
Heather Barr, good to talk to you on the programme today. Thank you very much, Associate Women's Rights Director from Human Rights Watch.